What's
Yeah.
about the week? What do you think about the weekend show?
What, the halftime show?
Yeah,
It was cool. That was the first one that I had ever really sat there and watched. Besides, I believe like Bruno Mars one time. But
yeah,
I feel cool, especially to see it in person.
yeah. It's cool. It's interesting. My friends who watched it on TV gave it a 10 out of 10. People, it was a little harder to see in the stadium, but it's still cool to be there. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, what have you done? I heard you bought your mom a house since last we talked.
You said what?
Somebody told me you bought your mom a house since last time we talked.
Yeah. I just helped her get her crib in Atlanta. It was a crib that she was a big house that she was plotting on for a minute, and then I just went ahead and helped her out with that
That's pretty awesome. That really is awesome. I
for
think
sure.
the I think that one of the coolest things you can do in your life is make enough money and to buy your parents a house. And so, congrats on that.
Thank you.
And like I said, I think it's a great investment right now when you can borrow money and from the bank for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and invest in real estate. And so, good on you. Good on you.
Yeah.
So, listen, a lot more of these people came here to hear you ask me questions and me to ask you questions. And so, I'm all. I'll talk about anything you want to talk about. Investing, not investing, growing up in Chicago. Uh, you know,
I definitely want to.
where you want to go with this.
I definitely want to dig into that cryptocurrency. Like we could kick it off with that for sure.
All right. So it was a big day in crypto today, right? Elon Musk, who is the richest man in the freaking world,
Hmm.
came out and said he bought a little crypto, a little being $1.5 billion worth for Tesla. And that made the price go much higher, right? We went from 38,000 all the way up to 46,000. Uh, and so, that's a big deal. The way crypto works is that different communities, one friend tells another friend, tells another friend, and people start saying, "Hey, I'm going to buy this." There's only 21 million Bitcoin, so there's a limited supply of Bitcoin, and more people want to buy it, drives the price up. And so what you see is it spread viral in each community. And so what's
Hmm.
been interesting, I'm watching even the hip hop community start getting more and more involved in crypto on uh, on Twitter and on what's that? That's that the big community thing on Clubhouse. Yeah,
Club.
and but so in Elon's case, he's doing that within the corporate community, right? Very few companies had bought Bitcoin. My company did. A company called MicroStrategy did. Jack Dorsey's company Square did, but there were very few public companies that bought crypto. And now, one of the top 10 companies in the world by market cap and the richest man in the world did. And so it sends a message to all the other corporations out there that maybe we should buy crypto, buy Bitcoin. And that's, in a lot of ways, that's listening to your generation, right? Bitcoin, cryptocurrency is literally the kind of social currency of Gen Z and millennials, of young people.
Hmm.
And so I've been telling companies, not only should you buy some for your balance sheet, but you should allow people to, buy your Starbucks or your McDonald's or your Bojangles chicken, best chicken there is,
Hmm.
buy your products using crypto. And so it was a big day. Have you
Okay.
have you invested yet in Bitcoin?
No, I actually was looking to do that top of the year, and I'm actually trying to close in on making that happen. I actually wanted to know the difference because I've been seeing Dogecoin be promoted heavily too lately.
Yeah, I think be very careful with Dogecoin. I think people are going to lose their shirt. So Dogecoin started off as a joke, right? We call them a meme coin. It literally was built as a joke. And the reason it's gotten so excited is because Elon Musk made a couple tweets about it. Uh, I think he was joking, not serious. But the same way that GameStop became a meme and everyone started buying it. And listen, the original people who bought it made a whole lot of money, but all the poor fools that bought it late, that bought it, when it was $300, $400, $500, they lost their shirt. And I think Doge is the same thing. If you bought it at 1 cent, below 1 cent, fine, 2 cents, 3 cents, but it was 80 cents yesterday. And that's a long way down. I actually think you should be selling that coin if you're long it. Get out, take your money and run. It doesn't really have a purpose. It's just like a joke. Where Bitcoin really has a purpose to store value, and lots of, from Elon Musk to institutions, they're all starting to participate. Very serious people putting their money in it. Ethereum is another one. Very serious people. And so, hear me loud and clear. Stay away from Doge.
So you saying Bitcoin really go up from word of mouth and more people investing in it at once?
Yeah. And so the same thing that happened with Doge, but it was a lot smaller amount of people. It pushed the price up high because it wasn't as big of a system.
Right.
But there's no one behind those people, right? There's not a story on why Doge needs to exist. It was more like a fun shtick that everyone got involved in, like a bit, and it's an expensive bit. If you buy it here at 80 cents and it goes to 40 cents, you lose half your money. And so a guy like me, I'll sell it up here and then buy it, I'll short it and then buy it cheaper. I would never buy it up here. Where Bitcoin could go down too, but in the long run, I'm pretty sure it's going to keep going up because it's being adopted by more and more people.
So in the last 5 or 10 years, what's been the climate for Bitcoin? Like, has it increased more than you taking a loss or what?
Yeah, listen, if you bought Bitcoin in any year of the last 10, it's been the best investment, right? Better than the S&P, better than stock market, better than gold, better than real estate. It's gone up and down some, but it keeps on the long run heading up. And I think that's going to continue for the next 10 years. And so it would have been better if you bought it at the beginning of the year, right? Better if you bought it even last year because it's cheaper. And so now that it just moved up so high, if you're going to buy it, you buy a little bit and leave yourself some more to buy it if it comes down a little bit. But I think by the end of the year, it's higher. And by the end of next year, it's much higher. So I don't think you should put a ton of your money in Bitcoin, right? I tell people put 2 to 3%, 4% of their money in Bitcoin. At your age, I love to tell people, hey, you're supposed to have fun, right? You're young. You're supposed to spend some of your money on having fun, but you got to start saving. And if you start making a lot of money, you should save at least half. And of that half, maybe 10% in Bitcoin, buy some real estate, buy some stocks, and start getting a diversified portfolio. It makes a little bit more sense. The other cryptos can be really fun. I'd put a little less money in those and really dangerous. And so you got to be a little bit careful and you know what you're buying. It's easy to fall for the hype when everybody's on Twitter saying Dogecoin or whatever that hype is. Usually when everything's hyped up, it's time to sell, not buy.
Right.
The other thing I'd say is when you're getting advice from people that really, are just excited participants, you got to be careful who you take advice from, right? And someone who's making money, even if they're just getting lucky, they feel really smart all of a sudden. And so they're telling people with conviction, you gotta trust me, you gotta trust me. And they're like, wait a minute, where's his training from? Where did he get his information? Where did he get his knowledge? And should I really trust him? And so you gotta migrate in real life and on the internet around people that have done their homework, that have built up a reputation, that have some credibility. And so you're listening to someone that knows what he's talking about. There are plenty of people online in crypto, right? There's a guy called Pomp. There's a guy, Raoul Paul. There are a lot of guys to follow. There's a African American guy who's great, Bitcoin Z.